Nope, there's nothing wrong with your audio. There's something wrong with my audio. So I could just dub it like this was a foreign movie, but instead let's just jump ahead to where I actually realized and did another intro. Okay, so I don't know if the previous caught my audio. I just saw that it wasn't blinking, so I don't know. We're gonna do this again. I already had started this, but let's do this intro again. And welcome to Keto is the Worst, where I believe that if done properly, a low carb lifestyle is not only healthy, but it is sustainable long term and not at all restrictive. So today is a meal plan day. I am going to be cooking for the next 4 days, and 2 of those days will be a cabbage lasagna with ground beef and sausage. And instead of the noodles, we're using cabbage. That's why it's cabbage lasagna, of course. Sorry, sometimes just keep talking. And then a salmon with zucchini noodles, which is going to be like in a lemon butter kind of sauce. We'll see how that one comes out. And I'm going to put some of the ground beef aside to make a little chili with it for the days that I'm not having the cabbage lasagna. And then the same thing with the salmon. It's a pretty big piece. So I'm going to cut some off and then put it to the side as well. Maybe make some eggs with it or a salmon cake. And I have a video that I filmed like 2 months ago and maybe put out maybe a month ago. So the quality is very different, but if you do want to check it out, it'll be right here. And with the chili, I'll probably do that on camera today because I want to season it differently and I am going to be cooking it today. And then beyond that, we should be good. So I have already started with the cabbage. I've chopped it up and spread it out. We might rewind. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this, but yeah, let's catch up. What is next? See, messing up always being, it just makes me lose my train of focus. Avocado oil, salt, and then pepper. The small holes don't really work well in this one. And I used to grind this, but I don't like this at all. It's kind of weak. And yeah, this is too little. This is too powdery. But these holes don't come out right. So I have to be very careful that I don't go crazy. And of course, garlic powder, because that is really just like salt. You need it on everything. And that is good. So I'm gonna put this to the side. You can actually preheat your oven if you wanted to. I'm preheating at 350. Next is more prep. So let's do this onion. Some garlic. Some pepper. All right, we're trying to prep all the vegetables that we're gonna need today. I'm just gonna start with what makes us cry. I don't know how many layers you're supposed to pull off an onion, because every single time I get a few of these papery onions in whatever I'm making, and it's so annoying. I'm just gonna restart the cameras because I don't like going too long. Why do we need onions? This goes into the sauce and it goes into the chili. So let's do a whole, okay, so this is all garbage, so I'm going to put it into the garbage, right? That's a good idea. And that's why, even if it's not me, you should always watch just a whole lot of YouTube, because that's how I got that tip right there of how to cut an onion. A whole lot of onion for today. Pepper is next.
While I am cutting these peppers, I just want to give a little update because usually on my recipe videos, I'll do mostly a voiceover, but on these meal plan videos, I kind of want it to be mostly me talking in the video and just going along with me as I cook. I didn't know that at the time, so it's going to be a little more of a mix between me here and then me on camera.
Pepper is
but
only, I believe, for the chili, so you can get away with it.
If you can tell the difference, that was camera me, and this is back
garlic.
to me.
There's going to be quite a few, and I'm going to crush these. I like cooking with garlic, it's never a problem. And let's go. So I'm just going to do a whole head, and then we'll figure it out where it actually goes. A little bit easier. Oh my god. Sometimes garlic makes me cry. That means it's ready to go, our oven. But we're not ready for the oven, so. Now, what is next? The zucchini is frozen, so we don't have to prep that. Lemon is concentrated juice. We don't have to do anything with that. And then we can put this to the side and start with our ground beef. All right. I'm just gonna do a little bit of cleanup, and you don't need to see that. So, sunlight is creeping in. Hopefully that doesn't ruin anything. What are we doing right here is ground beef and sausage. 2 pounds of ground beef. You know, paper towels give you a better grip. I didn't know that until I watched some YouTube videos. Okay, so that's 2 pounds ground beef, 1 pound ground sausage. Is this olive oil? I usually put some olive oil on my hands so that I can mix this up. All right. Make sure when you fold it, then you get the layers where they should be, right? Now, if you don't want pork sausage, I guess you can use like sausage seasoning. Sausage seasoning, if you don't want the pork sausage, or you just do all ground beef, right? And I'm just trying to spread it out because the next step is going to season both sides. So yep, seasoning with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, we season our salmon. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. This salmon is 2 pounds. So almost everything I do is about 2 pounds. This is a sockeye salmon. Oh, this is 2 pieces. I didn't know that. Okay, so pat this dry a little bit. Because it's still wet, I want to do this on here. About 2 tablespoons of butter. How do you want to do this? Just want to So make sure you go with the scale so you're not ripping anything off. If you do this, this is completely optional, to be honest with you. Just because this is going in the oven and I don't want this to dry out. You could use oil for this, but I wanted the flavor of butter on the salmon and not the flavor of oil, so I'm doing this. We season this. Okay, so that is done, and as of right now, I think everything is prepped. So I'm going to take a second to think, and I will be right back.
So apparently I don't want to share what I was thinking, so in this part I am putting avocado oil into the pan and then putting all my ground beef into it. This is going to take a little while to cook because there's so much and there's not a lot of space. So this will take about 40 minutes to cook all the way through.
Okay.
So like every week, this is where I make my chia seed pudding. I'm going to speed past it because it's not necessary to show. But if you want to check out the full video, as always, it will be linked in this video and down below.
If you're paying attention. That's been going on for like 20 minutes and it is 4:50 and probably has like another 20 minutes to go or something. I have no idea because it's a lot of ground beef, but yeah, I think we're good for now. You don't really need to start the salmon and all the other stuff until everything else is ready. So I forgot about the cheese, so I'm going to grate that now while we wait. So this has ricotta, mozzarella, and Parmesan, so you don't have to go crazy with anything. One for me. You see, if you think about it, this is for 2 servings, or a little bit more than 2 servings, and it's not a lot of cheese. You don't have to have a lot of cheese on to be keto. Right, so it's probably been like 35-40 minutes here, but if you can see, this is kind of how I wanted it. So there's a little grease on the bottom, but everything is pretty much cooked through. So what we're going to do now is add about, I think, the whole thing of marinara into this, of that cook-off. Alright, so I don't know if I've ever said this before, but this brand is a good brand. If you can see right there, that is why. That's fine. Now, you don't want to put the whole thing. We're going to use the whole thing, but you see, I used about half, a little bit more than half, because the rest of this is going to go into the lasagna. So about 3/4 of this whole thing will go in here. Leave a little bit, well, that's not even a little bit, but leave some as you go along. I'm gonna put some more, and you just want to leave a little bit for later. Like, you see how much is left? So that the math is what? 5 servings, and this has about 5 per serving, right? 5 net. So 25 for this whole thing. And I think if you look at everything, this is the only thing we're making today that has carbs. So spread out, 25 carbs spread out through 4 days. I mean, that's barely anything, right? So, okay, so while that cooks, oh, my fault. Sometimes I forget, I'm talking in front of the camera. Okay, so while that cooks, we are now starting to end off, right? We wanna let it cook off a little bit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm here and there. So we're gonna let that cook off a little bit. We want it to go for maybe about 10 more minutes. And as that goes, we're gonna soften up the cabbage a little bit in the oven. Cover it and then let it just kind of steam. And then we're gonna put that mixture in there, layer it with ricotta, some it's a power blend, but it's like spinach, kale, Swiss chard. And then we're gonna start the salmon. Once we put the cabbage in the oven, we're gonna start the salmon and then start the sauce for the zucchini noodles. Okay. All right, so that is here. So that's why the prep is so important. Let me not talk over this. Because once everything gets going, everything is already lined up for you to go. So this goes here. All right, and then one thing here is I don't want it to drip down. I actually kind of want it to cook in its own stuff. So this rack was only for before because it was still kind of wet, but now that these are dried out a little bit, I want to put that down. Ooh. So I don't want any of that to drip off. I want the underside to be kind of moist, right? See, if it was a chicken wing and you put it, you want all sides crispy. Do I want all sides crispy here? Right, you want that nice coat? I might be wrong here. Am I wrong? So then you can get it. Here become okay. So my mistake. I'm going to actually do it this way. So let's just pretend that never happened. And we're going to put this into the oven. We're all good here. What is next? Let's mix this a little bit. Okay. So that's that. I want to start the noodles, right? So we have this, right? I have not used this, so we're going to learn together how to do this. Stovetop is recommended. Okay, so I'm guessing heat it up first, let the water cook off, drain it a little bit, and then, so we're gonna do two separate things. I'm gonna put this somewhere to heat up. I'm gonna start the sauce somewhere else, and then we're gonna mix it all together, right? So we have two going on, right? One, we're gonna cook off the zucchini a little bit, and then the other one I want to put in the sauce. So that one's for the sauce because you want some color on some of the vegetables. So we're going to start there and we should be good. Okay, so we're going to put some olive oil in this one. About half our onions. In fact, do this. Okay, so if somebody wants to watch me, oh, you're watching me, right? We are going to drain, oh no, need a container for that. Oh. Maybe use your stronger hand. Oh, is it my stronger hand? Nope, this is gonna be terrible. Okay. That's too dangerous for me. Okay, so now See, this is just not getting hot. I don't know. I'm gonna put this over here. Because right now you're not getting hot. See? That's the way it's supposed to sound. Let's mix that up. Yep. Okay, so. Right, and then this, like I said before, we're gonna save and make some chili out of this. So, this is about 4 servings. How much was that? I did about half of this thing. 2 cups, I'll say. About 2 cups. Okay. Then the Parmesan cheese on top. And that is it. So this goes back into the oven and you take it out when it's done. I'm gonna use the same cup over here and put all this meat out, because we're gonna use the same thing to saute the peppers and onions. Then put the meat back in. Let that cook off. So the onions are a little bit there. Now what we're going to do is put in about, is it most our garlic? No, about some of the garlic. About 3/4 is our garlic from before. Some of it is going to go into the chili. No, okay, yeah. So that's that. Just get that going over here. So this has a lot of water. I'm going to drain some off. Okay, so I think this fish is done. I don't even know how to check this. I'm going to put the ground beef back in here. With some more marinara. About a tablespoon of this. This is chili garlic paste. Maybe 2 tablespoons. And this is beef broth I'm putting in. And this is pretty much, oh, should I measure that? So I think it's going to be like a cup. I already put some, so it's going to be a little bit less. But it's just to kind of cover the top. And then we're going to mix this. And that's just going to go until all that kind of liquid cooks off, right? The rest of the garlic that I had on the side, mix that in. And that's it. So you're just going to let that go. And if you can see that on the bottom, we're going to deglaze that with some white wine, about like a 1/2 cup, I think. Okay, so 1/2 cup. In there. And get this stuff off from the bottom. Now this is about a 1/4 stick of butter. Do people say that? A half, let's do a quarter. Which is about like 2 tablespoons, I think. And then put this in, mix it all up. And then is this ready to be broken up? Drain this off again. Okay, so that is the lasagna. All right, you're over here, so we're going to stir a little bit more. Over here, we stir this more. So then I put in the entire thing. This is a half stick of butter. So once these noodles are ready, they go in as well. So let's just stir that piece of butter in completely. Okay, so this is about 4 servings, I think. Touching you again. Jesus. That knife cut. So actually I haven't eaten today, so part of this is going to be a part of it, and then yeah, and I'm going to put some of it away as extra. 2 are done. Let's pour some liquid out. I'm going to mix this, put the zucchini in, and we're going to be pretty much done. Doesn't look like a lot of zucchini. So what I'm going to do as well, we had some leftover salad. I'm going to put this in. Alright, so you can use everything. That should be pretty much done. We're just going to give that some time to wilt down, and the salmon will be ready to go. You're about done, if you can see. And that is it. That's the lemon butter sauce, right? There's a whole bunch of sauce left. I'm going to actually try it, because this is something I've never done before, so I'm going to try this. See, yeah, came out exactly how I thought it would come out. Yeah. It was pretty good. So that's that. I'm gonna put that back here, and let's portion off the salmon. This looks like a mess, doesn't it? Does it look like a mess to you guys? I don't even know what it looks like. Right. Now, a portion for me was about this much, right? See the underside, but I like the top side to be crispy, and then we're just going to put that down. Or now, sockeye always comes out different for me than Atlantic, but Atlantic is not fresh, right? It's not wild caught, so nothing we can really do. And then this goes in a separate container. And this is for leftovers, like I said before. See, now if you put this on the stove, right, if you put this on a flat top or a stove, then the skin comes out a lot crispier. And I like it a little bit more when it's crispy. But this is not bad. And that chili's about ready too. So, salmon is done. Lasagna is done. Right? That's not how we do it. We do it this way. And the chili is also about to be done. Can you see everything? Okay, people, we are done. Can you see that? I don't know who can see what, but this is my meal prep. Now, with all the camera work, this took 3 hours for me. I'm looking here, my fault. Now with all the camera work, because I have to shift things and move things, and my cleanup is not done, as you can see. But it took about 3 hours, and some of it was just cooking time and me cleaning up in between. But that is it, right? Now I know this looks kind of involved and this is not for everyone, especially if you're just getting into keto. But if you keep watching and just sort of pick some stuff up, I think it will be helpful, right? Hopefully it will be helpful, because then why are we here, right? So this is the cabbage lasagna. This is salmon with zucchini noodles with a lemon butter sauce and chili. And that's the plan, right? So this is probably, since I'm eating this, the leftovers right now, this is probably going to be Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Does that make sense? Or let's try that again. It's probably going to be, this is definitely going to be tomorrow. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then this I will have whenever I have the salmon. And then this salmon over here will go with my breakfast whenever I have this, right? So Tuesday and Thursday, I'll put this in my breakfast. And then on Monday and Wednesday, I'll have this on the side. I'll put like a dollop of sour cream and put some cheddar on top. And that is what I eat throughout the week. And if I want a snack, maybe it'll be some guacamole. But this is the idea, right? This is what has kept me on keto for the past year. It's always something different, or I've made this a lot, this not so much. And yeah, it's just keeping it different in the kitchen. And like I say, well, let's exclude that, but I think that 4 of 1 is way better than, 2 of 2 is way better than 4 of 1, and this is what I do, right? And then this is kind of extra, but I told you that this salmon, maybe if I had space over here somewhere, this salmon will be a part of my breakfast. I'll mix it with some cheese and some eggs, or I'll make a salmon pancake, not a salmon pancake, like a crab cake with that. And yeah, there's some leftovers, but those will be finished, those will be handled. And I'm eating some of the extras right now because I don't really cook anything else other than this, because this is a lot to deal with on a Sunday. But that's what I eat right now, and this is what has kept me on keto for the past year, and will keep me on keto for a very long time, because it's 3 hours worth of work for a whole week of food. Because if you cook every day, that's like 40 minutes at least a day, so it kind of evens out. And now everything's planned out, don't have to worry about it. So I do hope you got something from this, even if you don't try the entire thing. Pick up some tips or how to incorporate some other stuff. And actually, this is also here, right? The chia seed pudding that you saw me put away earlier. I'm just gonna put this right there so you can see, but I'm not gonna put it down. I'm gonna put it back in the fridge. But yeah, so it's all this with this, because this I have every morning. Then my breakfast is just eggs, and if not, I think by this time you should have seen an egg muffins. and those are great to meal prep because you can make 12 and have that for breakfast, have this before that, have that and this for breakfast, have that for lunch. Then you can even make some salmon cakes and have that for the other days, and then you're set for the week. And it's like an A and B day, right? I'm not sure if your high school had that, but mine had A and B day, which you kind of just rotate, and those are how whatever classes you went to that day. And yeah, so A day, B day. And I hope that was good enough. So I'm gonna put this back in the fridge and do my little outro. But that is about it. So if you want to join me as I keep doing all of this, as I learn more about the science of keto and learn more recipes about that are low carb and how to incorporate them into my meal plans and your meal plans as well, of course, consider subscribing, follow me on my Instagram, or checking out my website at ketoistheworst.com. And I will see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. You know what you're doing?